ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports 115, we're going to talk about Fireball Soccer. They literally, I'm looking at this because I had an idea for what we're going to talk about first, and then I just found this. They literally light the soccer ball on fire and kick it.
Okay. See, what would make it even better is if Fireball Whiskey sponsored that league.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, and you have to hydrate using their product, so that way it deadens the nerve endings in your legs as you're scalding your skin off by kicking a flaming soccer ball.
Yeah. Well, if you're noticing, Chris went on a date today. We had a lot of mainly me, because my mind's been out of it. We could have done this on Monday, but we didn't. We did it on Wednesday.
We could have, yes, but instead, Chris is out. He is on a quest to obtain some, and we hope that it is not a.
I shouldn't know about that. I got.
And we hope that we didn't, and we hope that he didn't find her at the.
That is so funny.
And he better mind his P's and Q's and be a perfect gentleman, because she may be carrying one of these in her purse.
I swear.
Yeah, give me new toys to play with.
I give you a new toy.
I mean, I sent you that meme over the weekend, right? You know, it's like grunts that become parents. You know, it's like, is he smart or is he like me?
yeah, pretty much. Now, we'll talk about the race first, because the race was okay. Full disclosure beforehand, I watched the highlights of it, but I knew it was gonna be a messed up race, because it was coming when I went to Nebraska, and I came when I went through Nebraska and came back from Nebraska picking my daughter up from South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking rainstorm. It wasn't like a small storm. It flooded in Chicago. I found out about that because of the rain, because I was worried that I was going through a hurricane. I was going 40 miles per hour, had my hazard lights on. I could see probably around about 10, 15 feet in front of me, and that is it.
Yeah.
Lightning.
Yeah, over the weekend, they set a record for most rainfall in a single day.
Yeah.
The Xfinity race was actually started, halted, and then postponed to finish the next day. But when the next day rolled around, the track was still soaked. They still had puddles everywhere. They couldn't get the track dry in time. So they called the race, and they announced that, or they awarded the race win to Cole Custer for the Xfinity series. And then the Cup guys, they start on wet tires, because on road courses, the way that they run the Cup cars now is that they have wet weather packages where they've got treaded tires that are made of a very soft compound, and windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Okay. So they started the race in the wet. They, and everybody was kind of tiptoeing around because unlike a lot of traditional road courses, the street course in Chicago, not only did it have manhole covers that had to be welded down so that way they didn't get ripped out, but the surface changed. So it went from asphalt to concrete in more than one location across, around the 12-turn course. And Trackhouse Racing introduced Project 91, which is it's a fourth car basically that they're only going to run part-time. And they invited Australian super V8 supercar champion, 3-time champion of that series, Shane Van Gisbergen. And when they pull in people who come from other racing circuits that specialize in road racing, they call them ringers. And
like the movie
that really hadn't worked out for Cup teams in a
movie ringer.
And so, I mean, and this guy's coming in, right? He drove a Camaro in the V8 Supercar series over in Australia. Now, he's from New Zealand, but the series goes back and forth between New Zealand and Australia. But he was sitting on the other side of the car over there. He's sitting in the right-hand seat and shifting with his left hand. So he comes over here. They stick him in a Cup car where he's sitting in the left-hand seat, shifting with his right hand. And the way that the transmissions in these cars are situated, they're called straight cut gears, where you can basically RPM shift. You don't necessarily have to rely on the clutch, except for getting on and off pit road. Okay. Yeah. And so he was using the clutch, and whether it was because of habit or whether or not there are some people that believe by using the clutch, you can actually affect the balance on a race car. Because when you're trying to gear down, you automatically get that engine brake where you start to slow down and the nose dips, and it sets the nose of the car so you can dive into a turn. Whereas using the clutch when you downshift or even upshift, the engine spins freely, so you don't lose as many RPMs, and you don't have to wear on that torque band as you're shifting up through the gears. So he was using the clutch quite liberally on Sunday. Now the race did have to get shortened because they
had a shit ton of wrecks,
dude. Yeah,
Kyle Busch
buried his car under fire barrier, and Noah Gragson did it twice. Both of them were in the turn 6.
Pileups. Like 3-car pileups.
Oh yeah, when they were going into that free, I think it was into turn 1. When they were going into turn 1, there was a lot of memes that popped up like almost instantaneously that NASCAR was paying homage to the stereotypical Chicago rush hour traffic.
I was thinking
sideways, backwards. There was a lot of beating and banging, but once they got everything they got a couple of laps underneath them. They got a feel for how the car is going to react. They make their way around the course. And guys were figuring out how deep into the turn they could brake before they had to commit to the turn. It stayed relatively civil between the drivers. Now, that's not to say that the radio traffic wasn't getting a little heated, because it was. If you listen to NASCAR Radioactive and listen to some of the highlights from the race on Sunday, yeah, there was some colorful metaphors being thrown around. but they had to shorten the race because one, the weather, and it had a late start, and then two, they were
Well,
running
they
out of daylight,
too.
and no, they were running out of natural sunlight, and that track is not lit the way that other tracks are lit.
Yeah.
They've got the reflective ground level lights that illuminate the entire racing surface.
I was
Whereas on
honestly
Chicago street
wondering.
course, they only had street lights.
I was honestly wondering why they were shortening the race, and
Yeah,
I
it was
thought it
because of
was
the late
just because
start,
of
and they were running out of light.
yeah, because they went from 100 laps to 75, and then they ended up having to do a little bit of overtime.
Yeah, it was one overtime period because the caution came out with 2 laps to go. So the way that rule works in NASCAR is that once the leader takes the white flag, the next flag effectively ends the race. But if a caution comes out before that white flag is received by the leader, they freeze the field, get everybody sorted according to where they were on the last scoring loop,
Yeah,
and then they have a green, white checkered restart.
yeah.
And
Well, what surprised a lot of people that I was listening to on a lot of the stuff on this race is they were surprised. I think it was like 60 years that like a rookie has ever run a race like that.
no, it's been a shorter amount of time since somebody won their first NASCAR start.
Yeah.
But the 60-year gap was what they consider a ringer.
Okay.
So
Okay. So the guy from New
yeah,
Zealand.
everybody, the guys in the booth started calling this guy SVG because just for short, because Shane Van Gisbergen is just a little bit of a mouthful,
Yeah,
especially when you have an accent like Dale
right.
Jr. or Jeff Burton. But yeah, SVG came in as a road course ringer. It was his NASCAR debut, and yeah, I mean, he went out and he basically put on a clinic because I mean, that car was strong. I mean, it runs the Hendrick Motorsports, the Hendrick Motorsports engines.
Mm-hmm.
So they get a lot of support from Hendrick Motorsports as far as their engine development is concerned, because I mean they basically lease all their engines from Hendrick Motorsports. But I mean he was showing exactly what that car was capable of doing on a street course. And it was funny because you're trying to watch this race on TV, and you would see drivers as they're coming out of turns, they would swerve to find the puddles. And the reason why they were doing that is because you run that tire through the water, and it lowers the temperature on the in the tire.
Yeah.
So and because they were running the rain tires, that's a very soft compound to begin with, and so it goes away rather quickly.
Yeah.
And once they you make your money spot, money stop, which is usually the last pit stop. They call it the money stop. A lot of guys had already cycled into normal traditional racing slicks. And so there was a couple of holdout guys that were running to the back of the field, kind of a deal, where they were running the rain tires for as long as they possibly could, because there was still a lot of moisture on the track surface. So everybody finally got on slicks. So everybody's on the same type of tires. And the track, the course actually dried out a lot, and just from the heat generated from the cars. And I mean, you see those slow motion shots when they're coming out of a turn and they're hugging that outside retaining wall on the driver's side. That's where the exhaust is pointed, and so you saw a lot of those signs start to wilt and melt a little bit.
Oh, really?
Just the sheer force of the air pressure changes as the cars going by started to rip those signs apart. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool right there. So, but yeah, I mean, hey, congratulations. So, I mean, I got nothing against Justin Marks, who's the owner of Trackhouse Racing. Him and Pitbull co-owned the 91 car that won on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So, it's I mean, all in all, I think it was a pretty successful weekend for NASCAR. I know that the weather could have cooperated a lot, a lot more. But I think as a whole, I mean, the fan base that was there to watch the race in person, I mean, they had some pretty remarkable seats, all around the race course, and they stayed out in force. And
Well, I bet the people that were at the I think it was Jackson Street, because that's where all the wrecks were.
yeah, in turn 6, yeah.
That was all the wrecks, and
and they were the ones getting wet because that tire barrier in turn 6, every one of those tires was full of water.
Yes,
so
it was,
but it was just amazing to see, though, like when those Camaros nosed into that tire barrier, that it wedged themselves underneath.
Yeah,
I mean, it completely lifted that tire barrier up. I mean, the barriers did their job. They stopped the cars. They prevented injury to the driver, prevented injury to the crowd, and for the most part, I mean, those cars came out relatively unscathed. And we're talking minimal cosmetic damage to the front end of those cars, but yeah, it was a pretty impressive race to watch.
yeah.
I know that, and we are breaking tradition in all kinds of ways because we're talking about racing first. But next weekend, and this is your favorite part, David, the Quaker State 400 available at Walmart. It's that's the sponsor for the race in Atlanta.
That's literally the full sponsorship.
Quaker State 400 available at Walmart.
Fucking kidding me. That is so
Quaker State, because that's the oil that they sell at Walmart, and 400 because it's a 400-mile race. But
God damn it, that's what it was.
What?
I remember what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
It's Challenger 400. It's a go-kart race in this guy's backyard.
Okay.
They model up the cars like either Formula One or NASCAR, and they get whatever, and they just drive around go-karts. Guy made like a go-kart thing. And this is just recently, and the main prize of it is like a Dodge S71.
Okay.
It's like a crap car.
So in addition to yesterday being the 247th birthday of our beloved country, what did you do yesterday?
Shoot fireworks and I got meat sweats. My brother-in-law, he pans out on the barbecue. We had shredded pork, shotgun shells is basically sausages and pasta wrapped in bacon.
Okay.
Beef ribs.
Yeah, that's what you showed me, because I was like, I'd be mad as hell if somebody burnt the crap out of those.
No. Those were
rotini noodles.
If you look at his dad tried to do the same thing, and those were black of black. They were burnt.
So we shut off, and you got the meat sweats. Yep. Okay.
Oh, it wasn't that. It was more or less.
So you had the Atkins farts. That's what that is. Okay.
I had the green up squirts, man. I haven't heard that in a long time. You know what? I actually first heard that. I was playing a Shadowrun card game. One of the cards to stop one of the creatures from attacking was called Green Apple Squirts. That's the first time I ever heard of that, and I used it ever since. I was like,
where you got to clinch real quick and then rush off to the bathroom to take a shower.
Oh, you don't clinch. You plug that thing up because you know it's coming out. You plug it with something. I mean, you take a
I
shower.
hope you don't sneeze because something's gonna go pop.
Oh, it went pop. I told Mora, I was like, Mora, turn off the car. I just ran in and I was like, got everything out. She's like, I don't know how to turn off the car. There's no keys. I was like, there's a button. Oh yeah. Then she goes back out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. That sounds about right. That's pretty much dead on what happened last night. But no, what would you do?
We went to one of the cousins' houses. Not all of the cousins were there, but there was a good number of cousins there, so there was still a lot of people. They had rented out an inflatable water slide for the kids.
Oh, okay.
Adults that were there decided to get in on the act, and then the kids start griping and bitching at us because they want their turn again, and the big kid.
That's when you just punch the kid.
Yeah, but they kind of frown upon that, I'm just
when you don't give a shit to anybody, whatever you do, as long as this makes you happy and smile. Of course, my daughter ended up saying, okay, funny story. We went to United. My daughter doesn't like, smoke like pork or beef like that. She just likes like hamburgers and hot dogs for her little grilling stuff, which is really weird. I even confronted her on this. It's like, you do know those hamburgers are going to be smoked, right? She's like, yeah, but I don't know what it is about steaks and everything. I can eat a smoked hamburger. I can't eat a smoked rib. I was like, okay, whatever. Well, anyways, we went to this.
I'm sorry. Is there another way to do ribs?
No.
I mean, I get the boneless ribs, right? Like the beef ribs where you cut in between, and they sell them like that, right?
Yeah.
You can throw those in the crock pot. Fine.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
But the bone-in ribs, nah, son.
No, you
gotta cut the membrane off. You gotta
slow and low.
Dry rub it with a mustard binder, low and slow, and then you wrap that son bitch and you crutch it.
Yankees use mustard.
No, there's a lot of dudes down here in Texas that use mustard,
and they came from the north.
No, they didn't.
No.
Don't let them fool you, David. No, don't let them fool you.
No.
People that are like, oh, the Yankees use mustard, are the same people that put ketchup on their fucking eggs. I don't want to hear that shit.
This is true.
Ketchup on eggs and well-done steaks should automatically preclude you from having an American citizenship and immediately lower your credit score.
I could see that. But no, we went to United over by Hampton Road.
Yeah.
And we grabbed the cart, and the one of the baggers was like, she was talking to Morris. She's like, oh, that's a really cute shirt. So we walked past, we got the hamburger stuff, we got everything, and lo and behold, the bagger was the young lady that was talking to my daughter. And we get into the bagging area, and the bagger noticed the gauges in my daughter's ear. She's like, oh, what size of gauges are those? And my daughter and her started talking and whatnot. So we're like going out the door. I was like, Mara, why didn't you get her number? She's like, well, I don't know if she's gay, or I don't know. It's like, Mora, I'm a straight man, and I don't know if that person was gay.
All right, so I just sent Chris a text message. I said, if you need an out, man, David and I are recording right now, and we'll cover your egress.
But we had this long conversation, and then here's the punchline. She's like, I just want to date someone that's nice and everything, and I just want to like the women that you date. I'm like, you mean them having black eyes? She's like,
oh, she replied, gotcha. Good times.
But so what happened? What happened with the Rangers? Did they win against someone special?
No, yeah, no, they won, dude. I'm going to be the first. I have said it all season long. The Red Sox are absolute trash this year.
Yeah.
No, I've said it. You can go back and review the tape.
I'm not going
If
against.
you want, dude, hey, look,
they
I need a piece of red fabric. I can throw the challenge flag for you. Okay.
No, you're right. I caught like snippets because my nephew was actually watching a little bit of the Ranger game. He's like, "Well, I hope the Red Sox get their ass kicked," and I was like,
It was 6-2, so it was hardly an ass whipping.
"Yeah."
But
Well,
I
actually,
mean,
on
dude,
ball game, that's actually pretty good.
I
That's an ass whooping in baseball terms.
I will consider this season a success if we can make 500.
Yeah.
Because even with where the Red Sox record is now, which let me see here. Currently, they are at 500. Okay. Now, if they say that the Red Sox played in the American League Central, they would only be literally one, maybe half a game back from first place Minnesota. And if they were in the AL West, they'd be tied for fourth with Seattle. So, but actually, no, they'd be a game in front of Seattle, I think. They're both 500, but Seattle's played and lost one fewer game, or won and lost one fewer game than Boston has. But, you know, to speak to the strength of the American League East Division, Boston's in last place out of 5 teams, and they're still at 500, even though they took the L yesterday. You know, much like
Damn.
much like England, and you know, a lot of people from England, Brits, Scots, Irish, you know, who were conscripted to fight for the Reds, the Redcoats during the Revolutionary War. The reason why they spell canceled with 2 L's is because they took that extra loss in 1776. But digress. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And speaking of incredible, you know, anniversaries. You know, yes, we celebrated the 247th birthday of our amazing country yesterday. But tomorrow I get to celebrate my 1-year anniversary with my wife.
Oh yeah, that is I'm here.
So 1 year ago tomorrow, you, me, her, and various members of our close friends and family were sweating our asses off.
God, it was so fun.
At a Lake Wichita.
God, it was hot.
Dude.
My dumbass brought one of those jackets just to be, you know, snazzy and whatnot. Oh,
yeah, you know, and I'm sitting there going, I don't need to wear an undershirt because I'm not stupid. And then after the ceremony was over, my son was like, Chauncey, he goes, dude, you were sweating, and I could see all of your tattoos through your shirt. I was like, well, I didn't want to wear an undershirt. And he goes, dude, I wore an undershirt. I was like, well, fuck you too.
yeah.
But no, I mean, for those of you who don't know, you know, David was the sound guy and the cameraman for our wedding. He orchestrated the sound. My wife walked up, you know, was walking towards the aisle and up the aisle, singing to me. I won't do that to the general public. We've got articles in the Geneva Convention that prevent me from doing that. But and you know, he made sure that the sound was working. We were on Facebook Live.
Yeah, we were on Facebook Live and it
like live streaming the wedding.
Cut out like right at the end. You can watch the wedding on our Facebook Live page.
Yeah, and, you know, and then right there at the end when we turned to go walk out,
cuts
He
out.
plays the throne room theme
Yeah.
from Star Wars, and
Which
everybody
I had to be reminded that I was still doing it. That was, oh man, I am so sorry about that because I was trying to get everything situated and everything,
Oh, you're fine.
and I just blanked out. I was like, and then someone's like, "Hey, Dave, the song." Oh shit! Click. All it was is a click.
Everybody picked up the lightsabers, and then everybody's kind of looking. All my groomsmen picked up the lightsabers, and everybody's sitting in the chairs, sitting there looking at us like, okay, so what's this about? You know?
I had my ears covered. I couldn't hear shit. I was like,
Yeah.
I was paying attention, and then someone comes up and talks to me during the thing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to get it fixed up." Hey, the song. What? Oh shit! Click. All I had to do was press a damn button. I couldn't even do that. That's how ADHD works, man.
You follow the dopamine, dude. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
So, all right. So before there's not. I mean, we're
Well,
fixing to go into the All-Star break for baseball.
There's not really that much news. I mean, another baseball news is Dodgers Pete Dustin may to undergo flexor tension surgery, and he's likely out of the season.
P stands for pitcher. So Dustin May is going to have to undergo surgery. But yeah, the All-Star break's fixing to come up.
Yeah.
The celebrity softball game is going to take place, I think, either tomorrow or I think it's going to take place tomorrow, maybe tonight or tomorrow. Then of course you got the home run derby the night before the All-Star game itself. So I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. But yeah, it's I don't even know what channel it's playing on.
But in other news, have you been keeping up with the Gold Cup? CONCACAF Gold Cup. I think it's CONCACAF.
CONCACAF.
Yeah, Gold Cup soccer. USA's in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. I mean, they've won it. I think they've won it at least once or twice.
Well, they decimated Trinidad and Tobago yesterday, 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, the men's national team is capable of doing stuff like that, but when it gets to the World Cup, it just
I don't know what it is with a World Cup. They women's can get it, but men can't. But you get a different like cup stuff. Everything you're still dealing with the same players.
The only countries that really give two shakes of a rat's ass about their women's national team, besides the U.S., is Canada, Brazil, and England.
Oh, did
and England and the English women's national team is kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're going to get all kinds of hate. Like, what you mean? You coming in here? Look, I've got 1,776 fucking reasons to not care about your opinion right now. So don't at me.
Yeah. No, did you? Speaking of Canada, did you see?
Or as my lovely wife likes to call it, Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, she knows it's pronounced Canada, but she calls it Canada. So,
but Chris sent me a TikTok, and basically what it was Trevor saying, "It's like, man, I totally understand how the Chinese government works, and I love how they work on their prosperity and whatnot." I'm like, fucking serious?
Oh, you mean
the slave labor?
Any kid that you have over the number of 2.
Well, that was
raising them in a camp somewhere until they're old enough to harvest their organs and then sell it on the black market.
And that's only for the Muslims. They don't do that to actual Chinese citizens.
No, you're right. They take the babies, they euthanize them, and then they dump them in a mass grave somewhere.
Yeah, but that was only like 10 years ago, man. You gotta see the potential nowadays.
Right, because they've got to have a way to fill in the holes that are being left
in the Great Wall of China. Yeah.
No, not the Great Wall of China. No, I'm talking about they've got to have a way to fill in the lithium mines when they're done.
Oh yeah. I totally forgot about those lithium mines. So, yeah, you need to fill those holes up.
Right. All right, you ready?
I mean, they learned it from the how they built the freaking wall. So
Oh, well, yeah. All right, so we are going to. I gotta do our due diligence, and I gotta get this live read in here real quick. So, joke time with Colin this week, as with every week for the last few weeks, past months, is brought to you by our lovely, sensuous, generous sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She does wills, powers of attorney, medical documents. What in the hell were
someone sent me something,
Oh, okay.
and I totally forgot that
That's all the ringer on.
I had it connected. Someone sent me something. I got to the I had it open and it was automatically to the TikTok. And I forgot I had my phone hooked up to the
I'm
soundboard.
glad that you weren't on that side of TikTok right now. Okay. So
Or I wasn't looking at something on my
let's start that over again. So we're gonna do live read take 2. Okay. So
yeah.
just like it has been for the past few months, Joke Time with Colin this week is yet again brought to you by my lovely, sensuous wife, Mobile Notary Mindy. There we go. She does wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare processes, living wills, certifications of trust, assignment of personal property. She also does HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, I-9 verifications. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's bonded and E&O insured. She has a Facebook page, TikTok, Instagram, and I'm trying to think. Basically every other. Well, I don't know if she's got a Twitter page yet. We'll get her on that. But she is Google verified. She also does remote notary notifications, so she does not have to physically see you face to face. As long as she is within the state lines of the great state of Texas, she can notarize for anybody across the country. So just hit her up on one of her social media platforms and just set up an appointment with her, and she will get all of your notification or notarization needs taken care of. Again, that is Mobile Notary Mindy. And without further ado, I take you to a dark place. One that defies the logic and the rules that define space and time. Taking from the late, great Rod Sterling, submitted for your approval, a Ronin without a master. A samurai capable of making you question your morality. Yearning for the days of yore when church jokes were cutting edge. I give to you my genetic code, hailing from the deepest, darkest regions of my loin. Joke Time with Colin. Oh, I gotta have
I can't hear you.
There we go.
Press
Now we're
the button for some reason.
Go for it, Colin.
How's Paul Walker get his donuts?
Oh no.
He doesn't. He's dead.
Oh, I mean, it could have been worse. You could have asked where he keeps his donuts
In his glove box.
in his glove box. Yeah. Sorry. Go for it. Continue.
What would Kobe Bryant be doing if he wasn't dead? Banging on his coffin.
Oh, bro. Oh my God. No.
I can't even do the joke that I told
Oh my God, dude. No, I was not ready for that joke right there.
Too soon. I still like when Rocket like tossed something into a trash can. He's like Kobe, and he missed it totally and hit the ground. I was like, I was like, well, you're not wrong. He's like, oh,
He's
too
like,
soon. I was like, that was a
"No,
year
that's
ago.
too soon, man. That's too soon. Is that all you got for this
Yeah.
week? Okay.
All right. Well, there's
All right. I've got to do the proper outro.
okay, yeah.
I gotta have to go. I have to
You got to compose yourself, man. Come on,
Okay.
bring
All
it.
right.
Act like
I'm a rank amateur at this. I should be ready to go at a moment's notice.
after 2 years.
Right. After 2 years and 115 episodes, you would think
Yeah.
that I'd be able to get it together.
We've been friends for 2 years. And it was after like the first day or first month that we started like copaceting and everything. We're like, we're best friends now.
Are we best friends? Did we just become best friends? Yeah. You want to go to the garage and do some karate? Yeah.
All right, do your outro before we get all confused.
Okay. Much like Helen Keller, you have now probably at this point become immune to flashbangs. That is in thanks in part, if not in whole, to the cerebral beating that you have just endured at the hands of the Dark Ronin, my genetic code on display for your ears and your eye holes, yet once again, disappearing into the depths of the forgotten forest until he is needed next week. This has been Joke Time with Colin.
Oh shit! Oh
Now, is it sad that as soon as I put my head behind my back, I keep on wanting to just bob my head? I don't know why. It's like a reaction. I had to make it uncomfortable somehow.
Kobe.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. We're going to land this plane so me and Johnny can get back to work on trying to figure out what's going on with his soundboard and why is it not working.
I mean, it's great. I mean, the sound has been amazing so far this episode. I don't know if I sound even more enriched.
I need to get you a professional mic, and I will do that hopefully next week.
I've got okay. I'm just gonna say okay.
Yeah, you're gonna say okay.
But
you
are.
I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
Colin Skelton.
And this is Chris Jacka. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later.
Cowbell.